Hello traders, welcome back. Crypto market overview and crypto market trade of the day. That's what we have for you today. It's Tuesday today and I'm really excited to talk about let's start with the crypto trade of the day. It is the Bitcoin Cash for us, where we already established a position. I feel like we can easily double up our position size. But let's go over the technical situation before we pull the trigger the second time. We were calling out for this bull cycle, right? At least we were talking about a potential technical correction. And that's pretty much what we got. We already hit the target with the Ethereum. So we were chasing short-term profit targets, right? Because we're thinking this is the short-term cycle that's setting the tone right now. It might accelerate later down the road and transition into the medium-term cycle, a bigger downside correction, potentially even a full-fledged downside reversal. But we're not there yet. For now, we're just aiming at the short-term targets. With the case of the Bitcoin Cash, it was all about crossing back below the trigger level. The trigger level was 498. And as you can see, the Bitcoin Cash is indeed starting to crack that level from above. So that was our sign to step into position. You can see we pulled the trigger yesterday as price action closed the daily bar slightly below that 498. That gave us that cue to jump in. Now today we're going to double up our position size because price action gave us that indication. It was coming up and testing 498 from below. And you can see that little spike suggesting that it couldn't really cross back above. So meaning more likely we're going to have here a downside reversal, at least on the short-term scale. I also want to show you the weekly charts. Quite interesting because here we need to be careful. Price action did break above 498 with the weekly close, right? But the monthly, this is what I'm mostly interested in. It's the monthly that's showing that huge spike, slicing that 498. By the way, it's 498.85, just to be precise. And I don't think that's a coincidence, price action pulling back off of that level. I think a downside reversal could be a real thing a little bit later down the line, right? Probably not the right timing to talk about it yet, which is why we have that short-term situation. In the short-term situation, I can easily see a push to 427. So that's going to be our official target. Our take profit order is already there. It's 427 according to the black system, which represents the short-term cycle. So if you want to talk about the short-term cycle, it started off about 10 days ago, where price action began to trade back and forth in that fashion. And then the overshooting on the upside, but then the comeback. So that movement, that last 10 days movement, is captured by that black system. And now coming off of the last line of resistance, 498.85, I think it can go to 427. Once you get there, we're going to reanalyze the situation and come up with a new game plan for potential, like I said, the medium-term cycle that's going to take over. So let's go right ahead and fire off the second trade for us, Bitcoin Cash. I'm going to go to the trading platform. What we want to set up is 0.25. 0.25, that's our position size, that's our trade size. That's going to be the second trade for us with the Bitcoin Cash. So let's go right ahead and fire it off. We're going to set up the stop loss level and we're going to set up the take profit order a little bit later. As far as stop loss level goes, the original placement, the original location for the stop loss level is still 555. But given the fact that it's now turning around and starting to drill downwards, it's probably a good timing to adjust our stop loss level a little bit. So we're going to set it up at 535. That's going to be our new stop loss location, right? Aiming at 427. All right, guys, that's about that for the crypto trade of the day. I want to move on to the crypto market watch list here, guys. Very exciting stuff. We got 3 trading opportunities, pending trading opportunities that are going to be next in line for potential position. We're talking about the Solana, the Ethereum, and the Cardano. Some of them are already in pretty ripe position to take action, but let's go over those. We'll start with the Solana here, guys. You can see price action is dipping below the massive key level resistance of 232.08. That's our trigger level. And we saw price action kind of raising its head and starting to break out. But I believe it was a fake out. It was a false breakout. And the way to assess that is by looking at the monthly chart, the highest authority as far as technical analysis goes. And you can see how it's pulling back, right? Because the highest high, guys, 264.5, right? Way above 232. And again, I don't think it's a coincidence. The price action is pulling back hard just to stay inside and below 232. That's a massive sign of a potential downside reversal. And we're talking about a serious downside reversal. Think about it. If it's gonna turn around full-fledged, we're gonna see price action going back to where it came from. So the levels of 130.35, 138. So yeah, it represents 50% of potential loss in value, just to have that in mind. So what we want to see to dive into position is at least a daily close below 232. So check out today, right? Make sure to keep your eyes on the daily bar today, on the daily session, and see what pricing is going to close the daily bar. Because if it's going to close up below 232, that's our first important signal to jump into position. A little bit later, we want to see price action close the weekly bar below that area. That will give us that confirmation that price action is indeed gearing up for a massive downside reversal. Obviously, we're going to set up a new position chasing 138.25. Second is the Ethereum. Now, we already managed to have a successful quick move from the top here all the way down to 3,324. We just knocked off that level as a target, but that was a short-term position. Now we're going to transition into a medium-term potential position. We're going to be looking mostly at this level. Check it out, 3,342. all right, it's that purple line right here, 3,342. So price is already dipping below that level, which is a good sign. Now we want to have it breaking below 3260. So 3260 is going to be the trigger level. Once price action starts to dip below that second level, we'll know that we're on the right track. We'll pull the trigger and we'll chase 3116. 3116, that's the next big key level support, right? So Ethereum, keep an eye on this one. That's next in line for us, and we're looking forward to see where this is going to go. Last but not least is the Cardano, also giving us a massive sign of a potential turnaround coming right around the corner. Take a look at that pullback right off 93.50. So here 93.50 is the main key level of resistance, the last line of resistance, and price action, which already been trading at 115 almost, right? It's a big drop on the monthly bar, showing us it's unable to close the monthly bar above that level, and usually that represents a downside reversal again down the line. Take a look at the weekly. Now here's where we're gonna have our trigger. That's where we're gonna get our trigger from. Once we secure a close on the weekly bar back below 93.50, we're not there yet. We do have a strong indication that that's going to be the case. Nevertheless, we want to make sure. So we need to secure at least a daily closing bar, right? We don't have that even. But I think we're going to have that by the end of the day. We'll have to see. If we're going to secure a daily breakdown below 93.50, that's probably going to be enough for us to pull the trigger the first time. But still test the water, not get too aggressive. Once we secure a weekly breakdown confirmation, that's where we're going to pick up the pace, get more aggressive, start to build up a serious position going to the other direction, going to the other side. We're talking about a full-fledged downside reversal potentially. So we're going to be talking about the levels of 68.30 and eventually 0.40. All right, so keep an eye on these three pending trading opportunities that potentially will be transitioned into real active trading positions potentially in a few days. Going to be super interesting. We'll come back to follow up. We'll keep you posted. In the meantime, wishing you a nice trading day. We'll see you tomorrow. Take care.